It's episode 20 of Bullet Points. Holy crap. Woo. This is a big one. Why is it so big, Judd?
It's big because it comes after 19 and before 21. My God.
That's one reason. We have a ton of new subscribers.
That's right. Wow.
Welcome aboard, everybody. It's super exciting. We're having a blast. We are desperately trying to keep this to 17 minutes.
About 6
I love how you laugh at the very idea.
I will do this.
It's 5 subjects, 1 wild card that
indeed.
will be wild. We're boom, boom, boom. We're flying through. So, Judd Dunning.
I am Judd Dunning, and this is
Michael Loftus. We begin. What are today's bullet points?
all right. Michael Loftus jumping right into the most exciting 18 to 24 minutes on the internet. Michael Loftus.
Based in reality.
Topic 1. The deepest state flip-flop. Rats are ratting and fingers are pointing as the hammer comes down as Spygate and the real coup gets real.
Wow, that was long. Bullet point means short.
Bullet point.
All right, number 2.
So it's Run on Sentence is the name of our show, I thought.
We're
Number 2, Dumb and Dumbest. Jeff Daniels goes all Atticus Finch, mocking and giving the bird to Trump and America on MSNBC.
Bullet point number 3.
CO2 blues as the EPA boss Pruitt admits that CO2 is not the primary cause of global warming, Michael Loftus.
And now in the style of Keanu Reeves from The Matrix, bullet point number 4.
Bullet point number 4, taking the gay cake. The House's new Equality Act put forth by Nancy Pelosi's new war on religious freedom. This is one to watch.
Bullet point number 5.
This is what it felt like. Building the wall of democratic shame. As the border goes out of control, a lot of Dems are going full-on open border in the opposite direction.
It's nutty there. After that, we're going to promote some stuff, some things that are going on that we want to keep you informed about because we're digging the whole bullet point community. And then the wild card. Which I have not looked, but I got one locked and loaded in case things go south. All right, so let us begin. Bullet point number 1.
Bang. All right, we'll double bang it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. I'll jump in.
Please.
So, exciting week. I call this the deepest state flip-flop because this is the first time that the actual players, like Comey and Brannon, and they're starting to point fingers at each other.
Bum, bum, bum.
Thank you very much. Cohen just came out and he said that his actual statement was, Michael Cohen acknowledged that the congressional testimony that it was plausible now that Donald Trump had not instructed him through coded language to lie to Congress.
Wait a second.
That just came out.
He might have been lying?
lying.
Cohen was being deceitful about being... I'm in shock.
Deceitful.
Keep going. Keep going.
Great. And also the big thing that's going on right now is that first time we're seeing public disagreement between the former director, James Comey, and the former CIA director, John Brennan, of the FBI and CIA, about who was actually responsible for the original dossier. And they're pointing fingers. And it's getting pretty serious. Like somebody is facing Barr and could be facing bars under Barr. As it's getting really serious as we start to march down that route. So I'll start there and we'll jump in.
The DOJ is pointing at the FBI and the FBI is pointing at the
NSA,
CIA.
Clapper.
And it all goes back to that man.
That's
Do you
right.
think it's going to come down to the El Presidente Obama?
I think we have a firewall with presidents in the United States of America. I mean, the truth is, Nixon turned himself in, Clinton marched past an impeachment. I don't think it's going to get to the president.
I don't think so either. I think they've had 2.5 years to get their story straight. However, hopefully somebody saved something. Hopefully there's some evidence. We've said it before. It's one of my favorite things. We don't want a weaponized government.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about this is a danger to our democracy, a danger to our democracy. Listen, Russia bought some Facebook ads. They didn't change any votes. We got these lunatics over here, pardon my French, trying to decide who becomes the president just because they like or don't like somebody.
And that is the big four. If you think about when it started, it was Trump and Hillary and their collusion for a woman to follow the first black president, and then Brennan and Comey. They would have initiated this.
Yeah, and they were coming at old Papadopoulos pretty hard.
Right. Yeah, with Sexy Mole. We'll get more on that later. But
I got a sexy mole.
which I have not seen. But keep watching the deeper state here on Bullet Points.
Okay, speaking of which, bullet point number 2.
Bam.
I'm loving that. I'm loving the whole thing.
It's good for men and women, actually.
It's good for everybody. You can do it at home. Because it'll happen after I say, and then you just make
go. It's a
No, it's okay. It's got to be organic. You don't force a bullet point thunderclap.
All right, so this one, I think you should jump in about Jeff Daniels on MSNBC. You were quite outraged.
I was outraged and offended. If you didn't see it, here's what happened. Old Jeffrey Daniels, Mr. Dumb and Dumber. Now, he was great in that movie.
It was great.
And he was great on that newsroom show with Aaron Sorkin. Everything Aaron Sorkin does is super important, right? Now, here's the problem with being a good actor. Being a good actor means you can go into a role, right? You inhabit the role. And right now, Jeff Daniels is playing Atticus Finch
He is
to Kill a
so
Mockingbird
consumed with it.
on Broadway. And I'm sure it's a wonderful play. But dude, you're not that important. And I was deeply offended when he's on MSNBC talking to what's his chick, that she's supposed to be a conservative, and he's like, so he like really sees it. Because he's an actor, he knows what's going on. That like everyone who voted for Trump was really a racist. And that's what it is. And it's like and that's what the Trump election means. That now it's just like racism, which none of the stats back that up at all. Record black unemployment, Latino, blah, blah, blah. We all know this stuff. It's offensive. And what a great like sweeping station. Oh, it's not that Trump had better ideas than Hillary Clinton, or he was a better candidate or outworked her. Oh, you guys are all racist. Then this hunk of, I'm really offended by this guy, I swear.
I just want to tag what he said for you, too. He said, right now, the Republican Party was all about race. They had to tap the race card to win. We need to pin back the ears of white liberal America and wake up. What? Who are you?
I know. And then he says, he's like saying democracy is at stake.
Yeah.
Democracy. Like, I don't remember, like, listen, the Russians didn't change any votes. No one got into the ballot boxes. Our institutions are strong. We still have separation of powers. There's no constitutional crisis. Democracy is not at
stake. Race relations were just as bad under Obama. We got to shout out Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels both went crazy. I mean, they're both crazy Trump haters. So it's interesting, right?
All right, put on your science hats, everybody. Judd Dunning has some splaining to do for on I Dream of Jeannie, bullet point number 3.
two shots for CO2. All right. So, well, what was significant this week, and what's significant in our ongoing dialogue, Michael, as it relates to the Green New Deal and the way it's being used to weaponize the climate against the opposite side, is that Scott Pruitt came out and he said he admitted that all of their studies that CO2 is not the primary cause of climate change.
Hold the phone.
Give us that chart. So this is a current chart. 43% of climate scientists.
This is Scott Pruitt, the head of the EPA. I know he's hated on the left.
He's hated.
But this came out now.
Yeah, right. 43% of climate scientists agree that we're 95% sure that CO2 is a driver.
Okay.
57% said we're less certain. So actually the majority said it may be other things. Now, why is this significant? I'll get to this quickly. Is that during the Obama Environmental Protection Agency era, in 2009, he issued the endangerment findings, the EFs, based on junk science, and that's what's been used for the Paris Accord. That's what's been used to go against fossil fuels. That's been used for solar subsidies, all based on CO2, which is actually a life-creating force in our atmosphere. So Trump, jumping on the bandwagon, is going to take on the EF right now. So he's starting a committee to do so, which is the underpinning sword.
Okay, so Obama does the environmental, the endangerment finding, the EF,
right?
And that's the basis. That's the bedrock of all this stuff.
It is.
So now Trump is what, ripping the guts out of that, or is he starting a new panel of scientists to tell us what the heck is really going on?
To take on every major threat to the climate, which is going to affect CO2, to reassess old science.
I'm jumping in here. I don't know where I stand on this. I know the polar bears are doing good. I know that the ice is getting thicker. They're up there in the poles and all that good stuff. I listen. If there is a problem, we need to stop fudging the numbers like the UN has done and other scientists have done. We have to stop firing scientists who find out they are fudging the numbers. Like, legit, I need to know. Like, my head swims with all this stuff. We legitimately need, like, clear science. And we can't have like Al Gore saying, hey, you guys, come up with something bad because
I
I
don't
got
know
a
if we
bunch
can
of
get
solar
there.
panel companies.
That's right.
I hope we can. This is why, like, the plastic in the oceans thing, that's so basic. Can we please tackle plastic in the oceans? They went down to the Mariana Trench and they're finding Coke bottles and stuff. We got an issue with plastic in the oceans.
yeah.
So, like, let's tackle that. But when we're getting into, oh, the CI2 level, you said it was a 0.4. I thought it was a 0.8. Well, the hydrogen and fluorocarbon, blah, 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 blah. No one knows what the heck is going on. And you can find a handful of scientists to tell you that the Earth's going to burst into flames tomorrow. And then a bunch of scientists...
Birth strike. Remember, we're going to stop. We'll stop having babies because everyone's going to die in 12. That is the urgency of socialism banging at our door, and it has to be new. You know what? So far, we've done it. We've done a good job. I want an extra 5 seconds just to say, look, right here, the EPA, like 40%, 35% of people mostly support cutting off coal, cutting down, going against fossil fuels.
They'll be the first to die.
And they can create, the next slide, you can create bills. There's a power with eminent domain. The EPA is a very powerful agency. So Trump, once again, checking them at the gate. We're not climate deniers, but you have to hold people accountable for their research.
And please stop saying the science is settled, because science is
Obviously
never
not.
settled.
That's true.
That's why they call it science.
It's the science of dancing.
All right, here we
Okay.
go. Another one coming up for Judd. I'm trying to think of oh my gosh. I
What?
was going to flip the bird to the bullet point, but I'm like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. But it's time for bullet point number...
Boom, number 4, Michael Loftus.
All right.
Right?
Yes, go.
I think so.
I think we're on to 4.
Great. Another thing we want to be watching right now is very important. Is that we all remember the Masterpiece Cake Shop versus Jack Phillips back in 2018, where they voted on whether religious freedom, whether you had to make a cake or not.
That was horrible.
It's
horrible.
It's
That
tough for
poor
everybody.
baker, that guy that
Right.
went through all that, like,
Right.
and then the left is like, bake that cake.
Right, but the greater issue is religious freedom, is an actual is inherent freedom. So we have to err on the side of protecting our rights since 1620 in America. Religious freedom is what we were based upon. So Nancy Pelosi is put through in it's called the Equality Act, red, blue, magenta, Loftus, bullet points nations, very important. Look for the Equality Act, because they're taking sexual orientation and gender identity, SOGI, and they're trying to put it into the Civil Rights Act, which allows them to, like race and religion, protect gender identity. Now, the problem with this is it will completely cancel out the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993. It will be used as thought police. If you do not agree with the state's position on gender accommodation, your religious liberties are going to be wiped out. This is a big issue, and right now, all the Democrats in the House are for it, but we're not looking at the greater implications.
My head is swimming. Here's all I know. That was a boatload of information.
Good.
But, like, you shouldn't... Yeah, you can't just do that. You just throw in an encyclopedia.
Thank you.
Listen, here's all I know. If people are like, hey, I identify as a woman today and I need to go, like, it's like that the kind of thing is ridiculous. Like, if somebody's a whack nut or wacko, like, I don't think it's, when you have like really confused people, I don't think that should be a protected status, right? Like if I go to work at a Dunkin' Donuts and I'm like, I identify as a house cat today, so I'm just gonna sleep on the counter, and if you fire me, I'm gonna sue you. That's crazy, right? Like, I can't go into work and I'm like, I identify as an angry monkey, and just start throwing my poop at people, and then when I get fired, I'm like, so gee, come on.
Wait.
Nancy Pelosi says I'm okay. Is that what we're talking about?
Sexual orientation and gender, Denny. So you didn't actually identify the gender of the monkey.
I'm a girl.
We're going to keep going. We need 10 more seconds. But you're bringing up the point is right now there's such a broad, there's 77 classes of gender on Facebook. So are we going to protect all of these classes? The point of the Equality Act is that the protected class will actually have more rights than the average class. That's the problem with putting the Civil Rights Act in the middle of gender.
This is what happens when you keep making everything equal, and then you find, oh, this guy needs more and they need less, and it's ridiculous.
But then they can create a story that they're repressing everybody. It's not repression, it's just respect of standard values. I mean, most people don't live in that reality. Why does everybody have to be force-fed accommodationism or go to jail or be criminally charged, etc.? It's a big deal.
I'm not doing it. Okay.
Okay. I'm just
It was like an odd echo in here. Our battery is running low. We're gonna hurry. This is bullet point number 5. I cannot change the slide.
Okay, just hit there you go.
Whoa! I can change
slide
the slide.
on. Oh wait, milkshaking. We'll come into that next week.
Oh, milkshaking. It's horrible. Don't do it. Stop it, England. You're stupid. Someone's going to get hurt.
Milkshaking next week.
All right. Bullet point number 5, the wall of shame.
The wall of shame.
Didn't get it.
Hit that.
It's okay.
Boom.
That one
Thank
got me
you.
in the
So
heart.
it's slow to the trigger, but
That one hurt.
fast to
That
act.
wasn't me.
I like it.
Okay. What's the latest on the wall? What do we got?
Okay, so Michael Loftus, we've been talking about the wall for a long time. I think the big thing we need to look at is if you look at the historical nature of immigrants coming through the wall, legal immigrants, actually over time, if you can see there's Marietta. I just wanted to show everybody, it was really bad during Bush, it was really bad during Obama, but right now in Trump, it's about the average of the 32,000 a day coming in. But if you look what we had in March, we had 92,000 immigrants came in.
You just said 32,000 a day.
Prior. Yeah.
32,000
a month. Excuse me.
A month.
Woo!
I was about to poop my pants.
Got to clean up my bullet points. Thank you very much. So there we go. We edited. So 92,607 people are coming in. There is a real crisis going on there. They've also been testing families, Michael Loftus, and 30% of the asylum-seeking families aren't even related on their DNA level. And
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? And 98% of the people that are actually staying that seek asylum, that are going to transition to be judged and 98% of them stay in the country.
What?
So come on, this is getting worse and worse and worse. Now I love the wall. I think Trump's doing a great job, but Democrats are just pushing open borders. I mean, Gillibrand wants to say, "Oh well, we just need to open the borders." So what do you opine there, Master Loftus?
I love people from every corner of this globe, and we're very generous. We take in over 1 million people a year. Okay?
Yeah.
We can't just leave the southern border open. Listen, and this is going to sound heartless and cruel, but then you got to feed them, and you got to clothe them, and you got to give them medical care, and then they got to get us to the schools and all this stuff. And for whatever reason, when these people come to the United States, and the government says, "Don't worry, we're the government, we will take care of you." You are going to, when you do end up assimilating and your kids become citizens and all the cousins, you're going to be like, I'm going to vote for that big government party. So then you're having waves and waves and waves of people who will eventually vote Democrat.
Exactly.
And then you've lost the republic. There just won't be enough people on the other side to ever...
Climate change, gender, open borders. I mean, is there a theme to bullet points tonight, Michael? I mean, it's
socialism is bad.
It is bad.
Okay,
that is the theme.
We're gonna do some promo time.
Let's do it.
I want to talk to you, Judd Dunning. What do you got, buddy?
Not only the Democrats are doing the walk of shame, bullet points today. I am. Because my book is totally done besides 2 chapters, so we'll get it out soon, and I'm excited to let you know about it. And can we stop talking about this until I publish the book? Please. It's done.
Stop saying things. I have to make fun of you.
Okay, yeah.
My book is totally done, except for 2 chapters.
I know, it is
that
done.
means you're not done. That is the definition
like a real writer.
of not done. My manuscript is completely done, except for the ending. Okay, you'll finish the book. Right. This is like, you know what? J.R.R. Tolkien, a guy, he had to be encouraged by his buddy C.S. Lewis to keep writing, keep going. C.S. Lewis is, in a weird way, gave us The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings because he wouldn't let J.R.R. Tolkien fib. He's like,
C.S. Lewis,
you gotta write.
Now I have to just jump in on this. My favorite Christian author, as well as writing Narnia, for those of you out there that like
Narnia. Buddy.
But his greatest quote was, he said that he was a savage until he got amongst civilized men. Much like me and you, actually. Me being the savage.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You're the savage. You're out of control, pal. Yeah! So here's what's going on with me.
Talk to me.
Very exciting. Right before I came over, I'm doing this comedy tour, right? It's comedy shows that lean to the right. We're going to be in Nashville on the 28th, and Zany's in Nashville on the 28th. Stand Up Live in Huntsville, Alabama.
That's not the topic. Comedy shows that lean to the right. You actually have a name, the Loftus
Party. The Loftus Party.
Right.
It's the Loftus Party Live. It's me and my buddy Reno Collier from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. and my buddy Brian Hayner. He was on tour for a long time with Jeff Dunham. Amazing guitar players, and he literally had to sign a non-disclosure agreement about this project that he's working on now. I cannot wait to tell you. I cannot wait to tell you what my buddy Brian's been doing. Okay.
Kilogram, the new kilogram debuted today, Michael Loftus.
Debuted
today. The government is out of weight and measures. It's amazing. There's this alloy, and it is starting to degrade.
No, that's not even.
You like that?
First of all, we're not in the metric system. And oh no, the kilogram. It's a wild card. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones.
He let me leave that part in because I was actually going to talk about Game of Thrones, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
The kilogram has changed. And hey, talk about somebody else who didn't finish their book. The guy who wrote Game of Thrones.
I'm glad to be in that category.
You're in good company.
Thank you.
This is probably one of the most watched series finales ever.
Yep.
And as a fan of the books, as a guy who's read all the books that have been published.
You read?
I occasionally.
Amazing.
I did not like it. I did not like it at all. Like you got Daenerys here, the mother of all dragons. Suddenly she's the most evil villain on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, she's evil. Listen, she had a bad day. She had a couple bad days.
She's on the drag.
Hey, thank you. It was bad. I didn't believe her turn towards evil and her turn towards the Mad Queen. It just happened too fast.
It
happened too fast. Yeah. And then here's Bran. He's the new.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you've all seen it.
Yeah.
But 2 episodes previously,
you couldn't even say king. He's the new. What is he?
He won the Game of Thrones. He's the king of the 6 realms, which it's not 7, because when they voted at the end, Sansa's like, I don't want to do it. And they're like, okay. Yeah. And I'm like, that was an option? That was an option? You could just tag out and go, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And first of all, Bran is on the Iron Throne when literally 2 episodes before, they're like, hey, you're going to be the Lord of Winterfell. And he's like, I can't do it. I'm the 3-eyed raven. I can't be the Lord of anything. And then they're like, we want you to be the king. And he's like, why do you think I'm here? You're like, no. And it was just horrible. It was horrible. I couldn't stand it. I feel bad.
There you go. I just want to leave you with this. All your fantasies for the last 10 years, you can take off that last slide. Right?
This scene was great.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Yeah, melting the Iron Throne with a grieving dragon. That was great. And I loved how she took her and swept her away. Now, here's the thing: we'll never know, but she could have been reborn in the fire. She did rise from and Jon Snow died as well. But so my take is, I have a different take on this. It was kind of like the American dream ending because everybody got what they wanted. Snow got to go up in the wildlings.
That's not what he wanted.
You don't think he wanted to go up there and be
he wanted to bang. He wanted to bang the freaking mother of all dragons.
I don't know. I think
which was another thing that pissed me off. He's like, finally, I love her, my lady, and she's like, there's a chance we might be crazy related by And he's like, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't handle it anymore.
Right.
No,
incest is all over the realm.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. So he didn't get what he wanted. That was completely ridiculous. Who else got what they wanted in your viewpoint?
Well, I think that the hand of the king, Tyrion.
Oh, that last scene was horrible. I'm pushing in chairs. We're telling jokes. Right, Bronn, what are you going to do with the tax money? I'm going to buy the brothel. It was an insult.
Right.
It was insulting.
Yeah, it was so out of context with that. And the pacing, right? You're a professional writer. You're a professional television writer. I have you here. I mean, the pacing was it so unsteady and so all over the place?
It was just hyperspace.
Yeah.
It was just hyperspace.
Stop. Dragging.
All of a sudden, these huge emotional turns were made. Wait, when did she become evil? And what? But I doff my cap to Cersei Lannister, Lena Headey, I think her name is, who made $1 million an episode to stand on a balcony and drink wine.
Did you doff your cap for that?
Yeah.
That's true. I doffed my cap as well.
That's a good job. That's a good day at the office.
Right?
I've got to clock in. I'm working on Game of Thrones. What are you going to do? I'm going to stand there.
With my resting bitch face.
Yeah. looking kind of evil. And then I'll go, no, I've got the Golden Company coming. That's a wrap.
There we go. Another show. Show 20.
Show 20. Thanks for subscribing. Tell your friends. If you got an idea for segments, if you have something you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments section below. This is how you know you've been on YouTube when you do shit like this.
That's true.
Leave it in the comments section below. I'm Michael Loftus.
I'm Judd Dunning.
We're done for today.
Thanks for coming out and watching our new show, Bullet Points with Michael Loftus and Judd Dunning. Make sure to subscribe, tell your friends, spread the good red word, and hit the little bell below so you get notifications every time we come out with a new show.